When you were subjected to a lot of narcissistic energies, to a lot of belligerent energies, to just toxic environment, either growing up, if it was in your own, childhood home, or in the workplace, I think that the people who have been through these situations, when they watch the news cycle of things that are happening in other places in the world, it's impossible for us not to draw parallels between, when you see that there is a very clear aggressor and someone who was subjected to the aggression, but you still see the gaslighting and the deflecting. When it happened to you at your own small scale, you recognize the signs at a bigger scale. Does that make sense? So for those of us who either grew up in similar environments or who had to work with people who channeled similar energies, okay, to the ones that we see belligerent countries who invade and massacre people and then try to make the point that they are the victims in the story. When you have lived this at your own scale of having to deal with someone or people like that, you recognize the signs immediately when you see it happening at a bigger scale. So my point is, when I see people saying that they feel helpless in the face of these situations, because you think to yourself, what can I do, me, as just me? I'm just me. I don't have any political power. I don't have any weight to what can I do? I'm just a regular citizen. I'm going to tell you what you can do if you are a person who wants to help another person who is being very obviously, it's undeniable, you can see it with your own eyes, who's been subjected to any kind of overt or covert violence at a scale of, individuals. What you can do to help this person at the scale of people is the same thing you can do today to help the people that you wish you could help at a bigger scale, so nations, but just differently. Let's say you have a coworker and you know that he or she is going through any kind of abuse. So either at home, it's their life, like their personal life, or this coworker is going through it in front of you at work. They are being subjected to workplace harassment or, and you think to yourself, I want to help, but I'm not HR, I'm not the manager, I don't have any power. The one thing you can do, and it's going to sound too abstract to make sense and too abstract to feel like a good solution or to feel like something that would actually help. But I promise you that as someone who has been helped in that way and who has helped people in the same way, it is actually where you should start when you feel like you have no tool at your disposal to help another person. The one thing you can do to help in these situations is remember, neutrality is complicity. There is no such thing when violence is being inflicted to another person or to a bigger group. There is no such thing as staying neutral. You cannot be on both sides. And if you just remember that every time you are faced with choices, I promise you that you will naturally do things that will serve this person's interest, that will help this person and or bigger group, okay? Sometimes your own position can be in danger, or your own life can be in danger if you decide to go and help someone. I acknowledge that, and it's a very complicated situation. So you should always take care of yourself first. No debate, no question. But when you feel this pull of, I want to help them, but I have no power, I promise you that just remembering that staying neutral will help the person or the side who is inflicting the violence. This mindset, remembering this, will help you do things or not do things that will be the right thing to do and or not to do. It sounds very abstract, but I promise you that if each person remembered this at their own scale and applied it in the way they know they need to apply it to the situations that they are facing, they would see that they have actually helped this person or this bigger cause in many more ways than they had anticipated they would have been able to. Refuse neutrality. Do not stay neutral. Protect yourself, your safety, your life, your okay. But do not try to make yourself feel better with, I wish I could help, but I don't have the money, the resources, the power, the influence to help. So I'm just going to stay neutral. I know who is wrong in this situation, but I can't help them. So I'm just going to stay neutral. If I am asked to speak up, if I am asked my opinion, I'm just going to stay neutral. This is where you did worse than not helping. Do not legitimize people who are wrong by staying neutral when you know who is wrong and who is right.